Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the Global Muslim Social and Spiritual Impact Forum. Now to one of the best categories that we all want to talk about, best halal food of 2020. And there are some delicious ones featured here. We got Beard Brothers in Malaysia, Chaiwala in the UK, Dave's Hot Chicken, that delicious hot chicken, growing all over the U.S. El Halal Amigos, Falafel Inc., awesome social impact space in DC that has all refugee staff. Honest Chops with Imam Khalid and Bassam Tariq in New York. Sister Nora Haron, who's with us tonight. Pop Mills in Malaysia. Port of Mocha Coffee, shout out to Mokhtar Al Kanshali. Kahwa House, also doing Yemeni coffee, but in a different way. In Michigan, Shepherd Meats and Tahini Street Food right down the street from me in San Diego that is trying to grow all around the country. Nora Haroon, welcome to the stream. Assalamu
Thank you.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me. Can I
Yeah,
just say it's such an honor to be on that list with
alhamdulillah.
my culinary brothers and sisters. I mean, it's such an honor, especially this time of the year. It's been tough for everyone, and here we are being recognized for all the hard work that we've been doing. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, and I think it's well deserved. You do. Nora, for those who don't know, has had several restaurants in the Bay Area, and she had a really famous place called Drip Line that was like a cafe that blew up in Oakland, and then she has been lead chef all over, and while making her own pop ups for the last couple of years, including this year, she had a space called Indomex that was doing Indonesian Mexican. Nora truly does food without borders in such an amazing way, where she this big mixture of what I would call almost like Singaporean Californian
Yes.
food that represents her roots and her home. And so, Nora, what have you been up to this year, and what have you been cooking, and what are you going to cook for us tonight?
You know, it's tough for everybody this year. Where should I begin?
Yeah,
First of all, my kosher salt box is blocking this view. So let me just get it off. Um, so my restaurants are currently on Rincon Hill in San Francisco, right in the smack dab of Tech Town. So we decided to close. I mean, all the tech companies decided to close about 2 weeks before California issued the shutdown. I came to work one day and all my dining rooms were empty. There was like one or two persons. All my reservations were canceled. All my banquets were canceled. So it was pretty jarring and scary, right? So what do we do at this point? So very quickly, we figured people still have to eat. So we went on our to go and takeout mode. So in 2 weeks we were ready. We updated our menu, make things simple, and then when California finally issued the official stay-at-home order, we were ready with our to-go menu. But that wasn't enough. Then um, we were restricted because we couldn't. Uh, not only could we have people in, uh, there we have to worry about the safety of our employees. So how, like, we had to think of ways where people could safely come in and our employees could safely be of service. And then there was a whole okay, now we can have outdoor dining. So we went and built some outdoor decks, and then we were allowed to have people in at 20%, but then they needed to be 6 feet apart. So I could technically have 10 people at a time. Was it worth it? I don't know. So, and then now we can't even have both. So we're back to square one, which is takeout. So, I personally, it's sad because we had to let go of a lot of employees, including myself. So uh, we decided to stop paying me, which is fine. So I needed to find other ways to support myself. So I didn't want to lose traction of what our food was all about, and realizing that a lot of our customers were from the East Bay. So I was thinking, why not have my pop up here in the East Bay so people don't have to travel to San Francisco? And that's basically what we did. And I wanted to do something different. And because my food is very Californian, and Mexican food has always been an easy reference for almost all Californians. Uh, and a lot of the similarities between the spices, I integrated the two and called it Indomex, and it became really popular. And here we are, 9 months later, people are hashtagging Indomex on Instagram. So it's pretty neat, you know, because I wanted. It's also a reminder that this is a time we should come together, right? I mean, like you said, cooking without borders. I'm also doing a little bit of consulting for other companies, and that's what I'm doing. And doing, Zoom classes. And I'm also one of the chefs for the Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. We do some live cooking shows every Monday. I go on once a month, and so that's what I've been up to.
Mashallah, yeah, it's been such a hard year, especially I think for everyone in the food industry. I can't even imagine what you all have been through, and so we it's rough, right? And so we want to talk about all this delicious food, and we want to talk about the beauty, but at the same time, we definitely respect the journey that you've been on this year, and we pray that everything is made easy for everyone soon
Yes.
enough, and that this disease is taken from us. But it's just been, yeah, it's getting so bad here in California again. It's pretty difficult. But so let's talk about the food though. I've always thought there's some connection between Mexico and Indonesia, and so let's start there. Like let's start in a random place. Tell me about the connection of Mexican and Indonesian cuisine and how you've merged these worlds.
It's so funny because my special friend who I took to Indonesia last year in November, he's of Mexican and African American descent. Uh, we went to Indonesia and I introduced him to all his food, and we went to Malaysia, and he found a lot of similarities. And I said, yeah, it's just, it's easy on your palate because we use some of the similar spices. And during that trip, this is a very special story. I I had a terrible accident in Indonesia. I fell in a. I'm short, Dustin.
Yeah.
I'm 5'3" maybe. So I accidentally fell in a 6 feet hole uh, at the resort in Indonesia, like deep inside. I hurt. I had lacerations. I um, misaligned my hips. I had 3 months of physical therapy.
Wow.
And so when the pandemic happened and I got super depressed, and we laid off about 120 employees. I'm thinking about my next move. What do I do? And he said to me, I saw you got out of the 6 feet hole by yourself before I could get to you. What is a pandemic? And that resonated in me. And I said, I got to get up and do something. So, because of his encouragement and because of his ethnic background, I decided to create this beautiful concha. He loves sweets. Concha is like his favorite thing. And I made a crust that was flavored with coconut, turmeric, and a little bit of coriander and makrut lime leaves. And that was, in his words, if bread were twisted together, that would be us.
Mashallah.
So, you know, and yeah, I think he had to remind me that, you have to adapt to situations and then thrive, right? You can't be weak. Um, and so he reminded me of my fall. I mean, literally, it was a 6 feet hole, and I climbed out of it by myself with my everything misaligned and bleeding. And he just reminded me. Did I need to say more? What's a pandemic when you actually got climbed out of the hole? So I said, I literally need to get out of this hole right now.
And
So
so
Indomex
and
was
so
born.
Indomex is born. No,
Yes.
and it's a platform. It's a, you know, any tech startup that should be invested in, it should be Indomex. It should be. Let's. How do we globalize Indomex? No, my stomach says my favorite foods in the world are Mexican, Pakistani, and Indonesian. And I would say
Mm-hmm.
Indonesian more than Malaysia because I prefer the spiciness of Indonesian food.
Yeah, exactly. My grandmother was born in Indonesia, and her mother took her and her sister and they came by ship to Singapore and
Mm.
settled. So, and my grandfather, my dad's side, they did the same thing. So I technically, my family is Indonesian, and we settled in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom's dad is from India. He also came through the British. So, so my food is not only Indonesian, and then some of our Indonesian food that my grandmother has taught us to do have some Indian influence and vice versa. So, and now I'm integrating Mexican into it. Yeah. If you look at Indo-Mex, because usually Indo means Indian, right?
Right.
But to me, my Indo-Mex means both Indian, Indonesian.
I get it. Mashallah. And
Yeah.
so, and then there's also Indomie, right? Which is a terrible joke. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
But so I think the idea um, is, it's like being empowered. He basically had to remind me of my own strength. And so it was not difficult to dedicate this cuisine to both our cultures, because how much he reminded me of my strength.
yeah, no, and we know you have that, and I think you've created so many different brands and styles of food already. And I know you had like a donut line last year, and all these different things. I'll show some photos on your Instagram. I know you wanted to cook something for us. Did you want to talk about what you're going to cook, and
Yes.
you want to start cooking, and
So
then I'll ask you questions while you cook.
okay, good. So I'm making shakshuka. I think it's the one dish probably most of your audience would be familiar with.
Okay.
But in California, we are so deprived of tomatoes in the wintertime, because tomatoes are a summer fruit, right? So it likes a lot of sun. So you don't get a lot of tomatoes in the winter. We get imported tomatoes now, but I want to eat shakshuka when I want to eat shakshuka. So what do I do in the winter? Is I use winter greens. I have here. These are green chard. You can use any kind of winter greens. You can use beet greens. You can use red chard, green chard, rainbow chard. You can use any kind of hard leafy greens. Okay. The reason why you need to use kale, because you're going to braise this. Okay, and it's easy to cut this. You don't want the ribs. You can just rip that off. What I like to do is just cut it like this, and you can save the ribs for stock. Okay. All right.
I'm hungry already.
You are. I haven't barely started. Okay, and then you're gonna chop it like rough chop. Okay. I already have some chopped, washed, and strained, like Okay, this seemed like a lot, but it will all cook down. Okay, all right, so now I'm gonna heat up my pan and move the camera to there. Can you see?
Yep.
Good. Perfect. I have some sweet peppers here that I'm going to blister. All right, just put it on your hot grill, right in the middle, and let it blister. Okay, and as soon as your pan is hot, you can add some oil. Use a white pan like this. You can use a cast iron pan. Um, Dustin, have you had shakshuka?
Yeah, many times. It's
Okay,
delicious.
so you've had the tomato version, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay. All right,
I've
put
not I've not
your
had your California version.
this is the winter version.
Uh-huh.
All right, first things first, you're gonna add some sliced onions. Okay, and you're gonna sweat your onions. So basically, sweating means you're just gonna fry it in light oil until they become translucent. Okay,
Mm.
so sweat your onions. So what you're doing is you're adding flavors, layers of flavors. Okay, so what you don't want to do is dump all your onions and your garlic together. First of all, your garlic is going to burn much quicker than your onions because I have minced garlic. So when you put them, layers, you will also taste the flavors in layers. Okay, so you need to develop your flavors layer by layer. All right, so we're sweating our onions this way. Do you like spicy, Dustin?
Yeah, that's what I prefer.
Okay, I hear you. Mm. I'm glad you said that because I like spicy too. I have something for you. Okay, so now let them sweat. Only you could smell this. Okay, once they're like 80% translucent, go ahead and add your. I've got about 4 cloves of minced garlic. And I'm gonna cook that. Make sure you don't burn. The trick is to stir it around. Okay. Smells so good. Wish you were here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so one time our friend Asan had a birthday party at Nora's old cafe, Dripline,
That's right.
and she made so much beef rendang, and I love beef rendang. It's one of the best dishes in the world. It's called the King of Curries, right? And
Yeah.
her Nora's, oh my god, it's like one of my dream foods that somehow we ended up with a whole bunch of it to take home, and we ate it for a
I
week,
know.
and now I miss it every day.
You know what I did with Indomex, right? I made a rendang tamale.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's actually perfect.
People were like, and then one thing I didn't do much, or maybe I did one time, was like tacos and things. I did not want to do tacos because everybody's doing tacos. So I wanted to do more. Uh, I was very careful and strategic in what I would incorporate in the Mexican world into the cuisine of Indonesia. I wanted it to be not only symbolic but also, like a symphony. It has to make sense. You know what I mean?
Right. Have you been to Mexico City?
I have not, but
Oh
I
my
have
god.
read a lot of books on Mexican cuisine,
Oh
and I
my
probably
god.
know a lot of Mexican chefs too. But yeah, I need to go. In fact, we were already ready to go, and then in February, and that's when the pandemic, we couldn't go. So what
Yeah.
I've just done is added all my greens into my pan. Don't worry, all of this will go down. Okay,
Wow, that's amazing. It looks so delicious. And it's just the green part.
just the greens, and then try to move the onions and the garlic into full incorporation. Can you hear my peppers blistering?
I can. I can smell them from here.
Can you?
Yeah, you know, in San Diego, it's like the closer you are to Mexico, the better the Mexican food is. So the Mexican food
Oh, I
here
bet.
is
I bet.
incredible. But then you go into
Yes,
Tijuana, it's even better. And even the
I
fish there is
bet.
fresher, everything.
I know. I want to come visit you and
I know
show
we
you.
talked about doing stuff at the border mosque with Nora. She wanted to come, but inshallah, we're all able to get back together after we reflect on
Yes,
the things we're supposed to learn
inshallah.
in this time by ourselves. We're all put in time out because of the state of our existence in our world.
Yeah. All right. So when you see they've cooked down a little bit, not all the way, at this point, you can put your cumin.
Mm-hmm.
This is ground cumin. If you have whole cumin, you can toast them first and then put it in a spice grinder. Okay. I'm gonna put about 1 or 2 teaspoons of cumin in here. The cumin is what makes the shakshuka. Some kosher salt and some freshly pounded. I like to pound my pepper. Okay, I can smell the cumin right now. It's so good.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and I'm gonna continue to cook. Okay.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna put the lid on for a few minutes, so let it steam and cook all the way. Because you can't use lettuce, okay, for this. You can only use winter greens. Don't use lettuce. It will be too it will wilt too soon.
I'm gonna go back to the other camera.
Okay.
Ooh, to see that chili making action.
Yes. All
Amazing.
right.
So what? So Nora, so you can interrupt me and take us off course as you're continuing to tell us about the dish. But I know that you said that you're also from a family of healers, right? And that people who used to practice traditional medicine. And you told me once uh, that you use your food as a form of healing for people, and that you take some of those principles that you've learned from your family. Just
I
talk a little
do.
bit about that. I think it's super unique.
Well, both I'm surprised you remembered that story. So my mother's mom, she was known for her magical touch. She learned the Indonesian way of massage to heal your body. Okay. My grandmother from my father's side would also do the same. And they would read Quranic verses to help heal whoever's feeling ache and pains or just sick in general, right?
Mm.
Um, and I'm not good with the touches, but I do remember both of them, being really, really good cooks. And I've learned how to cook from them. My mother specifically, because she learned how to cook from both of them. And the advice that they would give um, while healing, eating the right foods, how food is medicine. And because I really don't know the art of massage, but I am totally into healing by food, right? Um, Eating clean, um, you know, the whole, not just halal, but halal and taib. I learned that from my grandmothers. taking care, if the animal is going to give its life to you, then it is your responsibility to make sure it had the best life, right? So I've learned all of that, and how you would compare a piece of meat that was taken care of versus one that was living in a cage. You taste the difference because its soul, you know, um, was affected by all of that. So yeah, and both my grandmothers grew their own food. Lots of vegetables. Um, and so I eat a lot of vegetables. I love all kinds of vegetables. I learned from them. And there was always, I remember after a healing section, she would always say, all right, now you have to eat this and this. This would be a little, herbal medicine, something like that. And so that was so fascinating to me.
Yeah, mashallah. When I
Yeah,
was in Singapore, I remember there's still right there next to Masjid Sultan. There's actually still some what are called hakims, which are traditional healers or people who practice traditional Islamic medicine, right
yeah,
there by the masjid, and it's really amazing that very similar to like recently I've been doing acupuncture that
yeah,
people can like take your pulse and figure out problems with you, right, and see the depth of what your problem is, and that it's an energetic level, right, as well, and we believe that as Muslims as well, that's a reality,
exactly.
that
And
their energies.
everything, it was all based in, on all the prayers that were done were all, based on what from the Quran. It was no different. I mean, it was healing, prayers of healing. Can we switch camera? That's it. I'm going to show you something.
Yeah, switch.
Okay, so all the shakshukas have some type of egg, right?
Right.
When I was in I haven't told this story to Mokhtar yet. When I was in Saudi, I went to a Yemeni restaurant and I ordered shakshuka, and they gave me shakshuka with scrambled eggs. And I was like, well, this is different. So apparently, in the different countries in the Arab world, they do the eggs different. Some do poach, some steam like I do, and some do scrambled. Okay, so what I'm doing is I like to crack my egg in a little bowl before putting it in my pan, just in case I get a bad egg or if I crack a shell. It's easier to pick from the bowl than from in there. So now you're going to put the lid on. So you create a steaming action in there to cook the egg. Okay?
All right. How do you know if an egg is bad?
If you crack it, if the yolk is black or has some specks of brown to it, you probably would never get that if your eggs are pasteurized. But it does happen.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, only place I've seen it, I saw it in Malaysia once. I got a black egg. It was
yeah.
scary.
Sometimes there's specks and things. You know what I like to eat with my shakshuka, Dustin?
What's that?
I like to eat it. Let's go second other camera. Okay,
Yeah,
this is labne.
yeah,
Uh,
of
how
course.
I make my own labne with Greek yogurt.
Oh
So I've
my gosh.
strained I've strained the Greek yogurt, and what's left. Greek yogurt is already so thick. Can you imagine straining it some more? You get even thicker yogurt. This is labne.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So you can save the way for another project, but I like my labne like this, and then it's pomegranate season, so I thought would use some pomegranate molasses. You can get this just about anywhere. And I like to put a little bit on my labne. Give it a nice stir. So good. Sometimes I put my granola on this.
Wow.
Look at
I love
so
Lebanon.
good. Right. Okay, that's it. And so now let's check our. There you go. Look at that.
Wow. So
Okay.
steamed egg shakshuka.
Yes. Now this is done. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and some pepper. Okay. I'm going to turn off the heat. Okay. Now let's plate our shakshuka. I'm going to put the camera closer to this. Okay. All right. Let's grab some of our greens. So good. You can eat it with just sourdough toast or just like this. It's good too. And then okay. See that? I have some beautiful Californian avocado. This is brunch. This is also my dinner.
Oh, this makes me miss you all in the Bay Area so much.
And then what I like to do with the labneh, grab a different spoon. Have some beautiful chevre. Here you go.
That
Done.
looks
Voila.
amazing. So what do we call this dish?
This is the green shakshuka
The green
with
shakshuka.
green shakshuka with the pomegranate labneh.
MashaAllah. Amazing. That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. Let's I'm gonna go to your
What?
Instagram real quick so people can see all the layers of deliciousness. There's that shashuka right there at the top. And yeah, check out Nora's Instagram to see all the crazy different types of food that she makes, and the way that she brings food and taste together, the way she brings cultures together. Here we're getting into some of the Indo-Mex, your laksa, amazing. That blue coconut rice, oh my god, nasi lemak and ice Milo. I mean, it's just all so good, Nora. Thank you for
Yeah,
taking the time with us tonight.
you're welcome. Did you want me to eat this?
Yeah. Let's try it.
Let
How
me
do
go
you
back
want
to
to go
the
back
camera.
here?
Okay. Can you have a good look before I crack the egg? See that runny egg? And if you have some sourdough toast right now, you're just gonna sop it, some labneh, and just go to town.
And that livna with the pomegranate I had not thought about before.
Mmm.
And that Sadaf brand, you mostly get at like Arab stores, right? Or all
The
over.
what? Oh, you can use any kind of bread. You can use pita bread. Sourdough bread. Roti prata is fine too.
Roti prata. Oh, now I'm starving. I gotta go. No, thank you. Thank you, Nora. That was really beautiful, and I think that you're such an artist, mashallah. Really, you're an artist, and you're a chef extraordinaire. And we pray
Thank
that for
you.
your continued success as things continue to open up. We pray that they open up
Inshallah.
for you. And we've been reflecting on these ayats from the Quran that with hardship comes ease, and so we pray for you to have much ease in the new year, and in as things continue to transform the world around us. So thank you, Nora. Any final
I
words?
mean, thank
Um,
you. You're about, thank you so much,
um,
inshallah. And I pray the same for all of our brothers and sisters out there who are struggling, not just in the restaurant industry, everybody that's affected, who's lost their jobs and everything. It's, like you said, with every hardship comes ease very soon. So let's keep praying. Don't give up. Keep at it.
keep at it. Yep.
Be
And check out
focused.
Nora
Yeah.
on Instagram, and inshallah, Indomex and all the other brands will be coming to you somewhere on the planet soon. Inshallah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
you,
All right.
Ash, you and I have some projects together too. So
That's right. Inshallah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Thank you. Walaikum salam.